The story that ran was a flood. That was the official cause, signed off 3 weeks later by people with very impressive letters after their names. A catastrophic failure in the aging sub-basement water system over a holiday weekend. A sudden inundation, for dead. A wing closed for renovation. A tragedy. A lesson in deferred maintenance. There was a fund for the families. There was a plaque, eventually, for the maintenance employee who had died trying to seal the breach. Elias Brandt, it read, in the East Lobby, who gave his life keeping this hospital safe. It was true in every word, and it was a lie entire. And Maya had learned by then that those were not opposites. She signed her part of it. She was a forensic engineer. Her name on a flood report meant something, and her silence had a price. And the price had been paid quietly into the room where she now sat across from Lenore Vance for the last time. Sublevel 2 was dark. The Cathedral of Tanks had drained when the master brine dropped, and the cultures, a century of the only regenerative line on Earth, had gone with it, down the chase and into the tomb and into the salt, gone small and slow and finally still in the same black water as the thing they'd been cut from. Vance had lost everything that mattered to her in 4 minutes on a Saturday. She did not look like a woman who had lost. She looked like a woman who had been waiting to tell someone the truth and had finally found the one person who already knew enough to hear it.
You think you ended it?
I think we put it back to sleep. Smaller this time. Salted, not cemented. Eli said leave the salt running. I'll spend the rest of my career making sure somebody does.
That's not what I mean.
Vance folded her hands. The lab coat was gone. She wore a plain coat now, a person's coat, and somehow that was worse.
You're an engineer. You think in the thing and its container. The monster, the tank. The monster, the cement. The monster, the salt. Contain the thing, and you've solved it.
She almost smiled.
It's the same mistake Oceana made for exactly one autumn in 1912, until he read his own notes and understood. Let me save you the 100 years. Do you remember what he wrote? The part everyone skips, because they're so relieved by the part about the salt.
Maya did remember. She had read it in the archive with gloves on, 3 weeks and a lifetime ago. And she had been so busy understanding the leash that she had not let herself understand the rest. The essence is already in 40 wounds. It is already in the people. The first I may yet drown. The second walks out the doors and goes home.
The regenerative line. The tissue. You didn't just keep it in tanks.
We used it.
Vance said it without flinching, the way she said everything.
That was the entire point. You stood in front of 2 stories of it and asked me how many people it had saved, and I told you I knew the number. Burn grafts. Reconstruction. Wound therapy. The compound, refined, in procedures, in this hospital and the dozen others that licensed it, for the better part of a century. Every miracle this place is famous for. Do you understand what I'm telling you? We didn't contain it. We prescribed it. We put it in people and sent them home, the same as Oceana did, except we did it 40,000 times instead of 40, and we called it medicine, and we were right to, because it works, it has always worked, it is the best thing medicine has ever done.
Her voice did not rise. It never rose.
You drowned the body in the basement, Ms. Okafor. You were very brave and a good man died, and I will not take that from you. But the thing was never only in the basement. The thing has been walking out the front doors of this hospital, healed and grateful and going home, for 100 years.
Maya sat very still.
It's dormant.
And now, for the first time, something moved under the calm. Not guilt, but the closest thing a person like her could feel to it, which was fear of being right.
Inactive in the tissue. Salt keeps the cultures docile and the body is salt, the blood is salt. We always told ourselves the body was its own little ocean, its own little leash. For 100 years nothing has ever woken in anyone. I believed that. I have to tell you I believed that completely. or I could not have done the work.
She looked at Maya.
But no one ever ran the experiment of what happens to 40,000 quiet little oceans if the big one ever screamed. If something the size of what you drowned this weekend ever called, from close enough, in the deep water under the building where so many of them were born.
The room was very quiet. Somewhere far below them, in a sealed tomb full of salt, the water held, because Maya had told it would hold.
Why are you telling me this?
Because you asked me a question I couldn't answer, and it's been 3 weeks, and I've answered it now.
Vance stood. She gathered her plain coat. At the door she paused, the way Maya had paused at a door 3 weeks before. The way everyone in this building seemed fated to pause at doors and say the thing they could not keep inside.
You told the old man you were born here. I heard you. 6 years old, a hole in your heart, opened and closed and sent home well.
Her eyes went to Maya's chest, to the thin white line that lived there under cotton, the scar Maya had carried so long she had stopped feeling it.
What year, Ms. Okafor? The procedure. What year did they make you well?
And then she was gone, and Maya sat alone in the dark, drained cathedral with a date in her mouth she did not want to say, doing the honest arithmetic, the part of her job she hated, the part you cannot refuse once you've seen the numbers, because the reconstruction of an infant heart, the closing of a hole that should not close, the kind of wound that does not heal in the old or the young or anyone at all, and yet had healed in her, cleanly, completely, in a single famous Minnesota hospital in the years when the compound was in everything. She remembered the flicker on Eli's face, on level 3, the arithmetic he'd done and hidden. 6 years old. What year would that have been? He had known. At the end, he had known what she was, and he had gone down into the dark anyway to drown the thing that might one day call to the rest of it, to the 40,000 quiet oceans, to her. Maya Okafor put her hand flat against her sternum, against the old scar, the way she had 1,000 times without thinking. And under her palm, faint as a tide 1,000 miles out, slow as something turning over in its sleep after 100 years of being told to stay down, the scar moved. 3 floors up, in a recovery room with a view of the river, a man 2 days out of a surgery they were calling a miracle reached up in his sleep to scratch and itch along the long, fresh incision on his chest, and frowned, and did not wake. And beneath the white tape his new healed skin shifted very slightly against his fingers, the way the surface of deep water shifts when something far below it, at long last, begins to rise. The hospital was very quiet. It was a holiday weekend. By Monday, there would be no convincing anyone of anything at all. The end.